Hello, Amy Elizabeth, somatic and intuitive healer here. Today in the sky, Mars, who is in Gemini, Gemini who rules legal contracts, documents, agreements, projects. Mars is there wanting us to take action on those things. And he is sextile retrograde Jupiter over in Aries. So I said in my weekly post that essentially Jupiter is hanging out at Mars's house. So Mars is to an extent in charge of, or Jupiter is answering to, however it feels in your system. Jupiter is answering to Mars, or Mars is in charge of Jupiter, because Jupiter is at Mars's house. And a sextile is a creative aspect that has these two energies working toward a common goal. And the thing that I have seen in talking to clients this week, and even very, very much in my own life, is this sudden surge in something where the groundwork has been set up. You've been doing the groundwork, you've been laying the projects, you've been making use of it, and now it's and we're gonna go. Mars is coming in with his action-oriented, fiery energy and lighting us up. And it's not moving us towards the end of a project, but it's more moving us, because of course everything is cyclic. So that's the thing I keep seeing is this circle, and you've been doing this work and doing this work and doing this work and doing this work and doing this work, and now you're coming to the end of this circle. And by seizing this energy and completing the beginning, the end of the beginning, you are going to shift your circle so it's suddenly a little bit bigger. And this is where the spiral comes in. We are always on this spiral, and we have a choice as to whether or not we're spiraling in place, which means we're in a circle, or whether or not we're moving in a way that our circle is actually getting bigger and it's increasing this way, but it's also increasing this way. It's a 360-degree experience with this spiral where we can circle in one spot, or we can start to work a spiral that moves us more deeply into our bodies, into the visceral reality of living in our glorious meat suits, and higher into a philosophical wondering curiosity, moving into higher intellect, philosophy, recognizing intellectually and viscerally, both in our bodies and in our minds, because this is how we heal our oneness and our inability to be separate, despite how much there is that pull that we're all experiencing in the Piscean age, which brings me to the retrogrades, which was something I said I would talk about. So retrogrades are a period of time where per a planet or an astral body's elliptical, it looks like it's moving backwards in a natal chart. None of these things actually move backwards in the sky. It looks like it's moving backwards in a natal chart because of the space it's at in its elliptical. With Mercury about to turn retrograde next week, it is August 31st today, because I forgot to say that. Mercury is turning retrograde for his second time in 2022. Well, kind of his third time, because we entered the year with him retrograde this year. Retrogrades have this reputation, and Mercury retrograde is the most well-known retrograde, as everybody is like, oh my goodness, Mercury's turning retrograde. Don't sign any contracts, and technology is going to be a problem, and communication is going to be a thing, and transportation. And watch out for thieves and tricksters. And I just want to bring up that human beings are born during retrogrades all the time. I have a rarity of 5 planets. And when I say planets, I mean the big guys, the big 9. 5 of those things are retrograde in my personal natal chart. So for some of us, retrogrades are really comfortable because the energy feels familiar to our system. People are born during Mercury retrogrades all the time. So if you are a person that has a natal retrograded Mercury, Mercury retrogrades can feel like the few times a year, there's about 3.5 every year, that everything feels really, really comfortable for you. Whereas the rest of us who have direct Mercuries, it ends up feeling sticky. The thing about a retrograde is it is asking us to revisit something. It is asking us to review something. It is asking us to rethink. See all of those retrograde, RE, and review, revisit, rethink. It's just asking us to slow down a little bit. And right now, as we're in this changing of the ages, from the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius, which, unless we magically have lifespans that move us another 140 years past where we are right now, we're laying the groundwork. Those of us that are on this planet, boots on the ground, doing the work of being here and embodied, we are laying the groundwork for what is to come. And our job is extremely, extremely important. We are the foundation builders. And it's not that the foundation we build can't be revisited or revamped or restructured or rethought. And it's going to be. I hope it's going to be. Because life is a constant process. Life is asking us to evolve. It's asking us for a revolution to shift things. And that's what these retrogrades are. So since, I believe it was about May-ish, we started having, I gotta flip back through my massive notes here that keeps track of all of these things. We started having the outer planets turn retrograde. And it was Pluto and Saturn. Saturn was June 4th. Chiron, Jupiter recently turned retrograde. So we've got Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, Chiron, Uranus, Pluto, all retrograde. So there's this big slowing down. And it makes sense that it's happening this time of the year, especially in the northern hemisphere. You can smell fall in the air. You can smell that our blood wisdom, our ancient body wisdom is saying it is time to make your preparations to slow down, to be internal, to allow the process of embodiment. I heard the most beautiful definition of embodiment today. That for something to actually truly be embodied, it needs to be a part of how we live, without thought, without effort. Until then, we are still working to integrate it. Until we can move through life in a way that the lessons that we're getting are simply a part of how we exist. Without thought, without effort, we are still working to embody it. Being embodied is about how we live. It is the practice of our day-to-day, moment-to-moment, 6th house Virgo lives. And of course, we all have Virgo in different houses, but the 6th house is ruled by Virgo, and that is our day-to-day, moment-to-moment. How embodied are we in our practices, in our awareness, in our compassion, in our kindness. And that's, for me, what it feels like these retrogrades are doing. They're really slowing us down. And so even though the cosmic frequency is increasing, and it's going to keep increasing, and that frequency is working to shake us out of any level of, I am seeing like a stone figure that is sleeping, but the figure isn't stone. The figure has just been asleep so long with so much dust that has accumulated on it that dust has hardened into a crust. And this rising frequency that we are living in is asking us to break off that crust, to shift, and that frequency is working to crack that crust so that our softness and our awareness and our compassion can wake up. So feel both. Feel that our frequency is rising, and that rising frequency is coming at a time when there's a slowing down and a drilling in. And get really curious about how it is that you can individually work harder to embody, so to fully actually integrate, so it becomes a way of life rather than a time out of life to do a practice, a time out of life to do this, a time out of life to do that. Embodied work is being present with your life, whatever your life looks like, and bringing the lessons in that way, actually feeling it viscerally. And I would love to hear any way that you are watching the beginning of an end, the end of a beginning, which of course is the beginning of the next stage, happen in your life. I know that the things that I've been hearing from people are really exciting as they end one stage of something to step in. And those decisions that are being made right now are powerful catalysts if you are following your feels, if you're following your heart and your womb space and your alignment. And men, you've got womb spaces too, so I'm not excluding you when I say womb spaces. Just really following your deep truth. So if anything has exciting as far as an ending that is going to kick off another beginning has been decided in this week, I would love to hear about it in the comments. Leave me your questions, drop in a comment if you have anything you'd like to hear about. I always say questions, comments, dedications, and requests, so leave those down below. And I am opening up a new women's circle. So my Friday circle with those members will stay in place. There's no more adding to those women. Those women that are the Friday circle stay the Friday circle. And I want to open up a new container that is fresh energetically. We will be working with Mercury for the month of September. So there is a link in the comments to sign up or reach out to me. Every woman gets a customized personal natal chart reading of her business with Mercury for this month and how Mercury may be showing up. There are support videos like this that are offered all the time. And then we will meet on the final Thursday of the month as a group for those that feel called to just dish about what happened and to get information on what October's archetype is going to be. So great big fierce love. I look forward to hearing from you.